Hey, and welcome back. I'm so glad to have you joining me today. I have a question I want to start out, and it's a question that I asked a client a couple of weeks back. What small daily action, if done consistently, would create the biggest positive shift in your life? What small daily action, if done consistently, would create the biggest positive shift in your life? Now, that was a question that I posed to a particular client, and the result was actually astounding. For many, I actually got to realize when I started to speak with even more people around this particular how to achieve a tremendous success, I got to realize that most of us, and I laugh because I'm guilty of it as well, we actually are searching for the most complex strategies while overlooking like the powerful, simple activities that's going to help us to achieve our success. Why do we do that? Why do we always look for something more complicated to achieve something so simple? And that's what I want to talk about. There's a life hack that I'm going to share with you that you already know. You've already done it. But there's this one life hack that gives tremendous success. And it's one of these simple things in life that you can start doing while you're even watching this particular session. You can actually do it while you're listening to me. What is that life hack? Well, that's what I'm going to share with you today. You see, one of the big things that's out in our life is we've got so many activities that are around us. We need to achieve so many goals, so many outcomes, and life is complicated with all these different projects and avenues that are put in front of us. We almost cross populate them from time to time. We take little actions from project A and we try to merge and mix it into project B, which doesn't work. And then we try to create something new and we go and use some kind of technology for project C. And then we say, well, we need to simplify it. So instead of simplifying by doing one activity, what do? We look at something that's even more complicated of how do we combine them so we do them at the same time. I'm guilty of it, and I'm sure you are guilty of it. And really, when you really look at the results that really give you that little tick box in your life that you actually feel proud about and go, this was amazing. I can't believe I actually achieved this. We like to call those extraordinary results. Why are they extraordinary? Well, there isn't anything specifically extraordinary about it. It's just that you've completed it and you actually have a result. That's what makes it actually extraordinary. But the truth of it actually doesn't come from extraordinary activities. It actually comes from doing ordinary activities. But the key is done consistently. That's the key word in this particular session today that I want you to take out. The word consistent. It is those small, repeatable behaviors or actions that you actually do on a daily basis, which actually compounds to create those extraordinary results. Now, you're going to go, well, that sounds obvious. But have you ever tried to make things simple and do it in a consistent manner? Suddenly, there's distractions that come around us, and we start one idea today, but tomorrow it's totally different. The next day, it is turned upside down. And then by the day 4, we're trying to combine everything to catch up. And that's when it becomes complex again. So, what we need to do is we need to break it down and actually have this consistent flow as we're going forward. So, I want to share with you 3 little tips to help you to remain consistent as you're actually going forward. These 3, they're actually very easy, and you can actually do them anytime when you're looking at something. The first, and this is something that you really need to take to heart, you need to prioritize consistency over intensity. You see, we think to ourselves, I'm going to be consistent at doing this particular activity. But then what we do is we increase the actual intensity of that activity. So, for instance, going to gym, instead of going for gym for 2 hours every single day and burning yourself out, why not be consistent and starting with 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes? If it's something that even that is too much for you, make it even small. You see, what you want is you want the consistency of that action. And it's just that simple consistency of performing it every single day will actually outperform any complex system that you actually put into place. In fact, it will actually help to support having it as an accountable action as well. So the first one is actually prioritizing consistency over intensity. If you feel the intensity of that particular action and it's actually holding you back, and you can feel at the end of it, you're feeling exhausted and you just don't want to do it anymore, relook at that intensity. How do you bring it down? How do you bring it down to a level that you feel comfortable with it, that you can repeat it every single day? It's that consistency that you need to prioritize. And when you get that consistency prioritized, it actually will then start to become a habit that is repeatable day after day. So that's the first one. Prioritize consistency over intensity of the actual actions themselves. The second, and this is one that I actually have done personally, and I know that it works exceptionally well. There's been books that's been written about this. And in fact, if you read Atomic Habits by James Clear, he actually really articulates it in an amazing way. What am I talking about? It's called habit stacking. Habit stacking is one of the most powerful ways to actually create these small activities on a day-to-day basis. You see, the way it works, and this is the basic structure, you identify a good habit in a day. Not so much the bad habits, a good habit, something that you do every single day without even thinking about it. It's just autonomous. You start identifying those. And then what you do is you have a look and see this new habit that I want to create, this new action. Does it fit in that environment where I do that habit? So you have a look at the time, you look at environment, you look at the place. Does it actually work there? If it's yes, well, then try habit stacking. Now, habit stacking works like this. You are aware of the habit that you're doing every single day. As soon as you finish that habit, you start the next one without any break. Start the next habit so that you start to stack these habits on top of each other. And ultimately, you're actually using the power of the habits that you've already created to build on that. And this is a very powerful way to make sure that this habit, this action, this activity remains consistent, because it's almost like an alarm clock in the morning. The habit of waking up after an alarm clock is the most traditional method of habit stacking. Alarm goes off. You wake up, you get up. That's habit stacking in a very simplistic way. So make sure that you get the habit stacking, because it's going to actually help you to follow through with these particular activities. And it definitely makes it sustainable. It's something that you can do on an ongoing basis. So identify a habit. Might take some time because most of your habits are on such autopilot, you actually forget about it. So you need to become aware of them and habit stack onto it. Just use it as the little piggyback and let it go through so that you can go forward. So that's the second. Attach new habits that you want to create to existing routines and existing habits that are in place. Makes it so much easier for you as you're actually going forward. Then the third one is the one that, as a coach, we really talk about this. As an individual, it does become a little bit uncomfortable to start with. What am I talking about? I'm talking about tracking your progress through this particular behavior that you're creating. So if you're actually stacking the habit and you're doing it every single day, don't rely on your mind to remember it. Create some form of tracker, something on a page. Now, we work within the One Thing. We call it a 66-day habit plan. It's basically got 66 blocks on a page. Up at the top, we give it a heading. That heading is a name of whatever the activity that we want to create into a habit. Why 66 blocks? Well, studies show that it takes, on average, 66 days to create a habit. Some take longer, some take shorter, but on average, it's 66 days. So, what we want to do is we want to create some form of tracker that we can see visually. And the reason why we want to see it visually is because it actually has almost a psychological effect to us. It starts creating this level of momentum and excitement. You see, day one is easy. Day one, your motivation is as high as ever. You go out and you do that particular activity. Day two, well, it reminds you of day one and you think that's great. And then by day three, life starts to happen. And then you feel by day four that you could put it off by 2 or 3 days. And by day seven, it's disappeared. With a habit tracker in place, something that you can visually see your performance, suddenly it triggers, hey, wait a minute, I'm actually doing something that's great. And I can see my progress. In the beginning, day one, mark it off with a smiley face, a tick across, whatever you like, but actually track it on day one. On day two, day three, day 20, day 30, 50. And what you're going to find as you start going through this particular process, and it sounds crazy, but just putting in the cross, the tick, the smiley face is a habit of action. You actually stack this tracking on top of that particular activity. And that activity is stacked on top of something that is already a routine in your life. You see, you wake up in the morning, you do that routine, which is just a habit. You then go into this new habit of yours that you're really intense with and you want to go through. But remember, we keep it simple. We keep it more from a simpleness than something that was consistency instead of something that is intensity. And then straight afterwards, we put that little cross. It's almost like a little success for ourselves. We're celebrating that success. But when you go through this process of tracking your progress and the success that you're having, it actually gives you a level of inspiration. I say that it's a psychological momentum that builds up inside of you because you're eager to achieve the end. Now, what's great about it is if you want, you can create a 67th block. That 67th block could be some form of reward, something that you're really looking forward to, but you have to complete all 66 days in a row. And once you start doing that, you'll find that that tracker gives you this inspiration to go, I want to do it again. I want to do it today. And that becomes consistence. That consistence over time gives you results. Those results is what actually gets you to remember why you did this in the first place. You see, so too often, as I said, we want to achieve these tremendous levels of success in our life, yet we just overcomplicate it. So these 3 simple steps is going to help you to get to those extraordinary. It's not a click of a finger. It's not something that happens overnight. It's something that is consistent. And that's the key word in this. That first little tip is make sure that you prioritize the consistency, that you're doing it on an ongoing basis over the intensity. Don't push yourself. All that's going to happen is you're going to burn out. Make sure that you're actually habit stacking. Add this new habit onto an existing routine, something that you're doing on an ongoing basis. That doesn't take time to work it out. You'll actually see your life and that awareness. Well, I can put it over there. No problem. And then track the progress. Use a 66-day tracker, and it's simple. You could just take a blank piece of paper and just draw some lines with some blocks on it if you want, and then just tick them off, stamp them, put that sheet on the bathroom mirror, on the fridge in the kitchen, put it on your desktop, on the wall, wherever, so that it's always visible to you. Through this particular process, you're going to find that your life will change. You're actually going to start achieving these tremendous levels of success that you didn't think were possible in the beginning because you felt that you had to push yourself. But you can do this. And the simple thing is, it's not complicated. It's simple. So what's that one habit that if you can commit to on a daily basis, you'll actually create the future that you desire? Now, ending this, I want to share a quote that I think is extremely powerful, really to finish this off. Success isn't about doing the right thing. It's about doing everything. It's not about doing everything right. See, even I get these quotes sometimes incorrect. Success is about doing the right thing. It's not about doing everything right. There's a lot of words that got into that one there, but hey, that's me. I'm human. I can remember these, but I sometimes get them a little muddled up. So success is about doing the right thing and not about doing everything right. Just remember that as you're going forward. And remember, learning, it creates awareness, but actions create results. I look forward to seeing you in our next session. So cheers for now.